But thank goodness for his good friend Cecil. He talked to the boss down there and said he's a good man, and the doctor thinks the change of climate will do him good.
Oh, okay.
So the guy took a chance on him. Go ahead. So we packed up and drove down to New Orleans, and we put a car on the boat. You have to get there a day early. And on the way down, we stopped in Kansas to visit his folks before we went.
So do you go down on the boat or you fly?
Oh no, we stayed on the boat. We had to stay in New Orleans overnight, which was interesting. But it was interesting. We didn't. New Orleans is a very interesting town.
Yeah.
And of course the kids I don't think were old enough. Mike was just 10. In fact, he had his 10th birthday on the boat going to town.
Oh, okay.
And they weren't old enough to appreciate
The history and all that,
Was that the Cristobal?
Cristobal, yeah. And it was a 4-day trip down. And this was in March. And
March of what year?
I've been 62, I think it was 63.
Okay.
63, March of 63. And in March there was a lot of, the boat carried a lot of materials for the canal, produce and food and transportation for like our cars and stuff like that. But they had capacity of 222 passengers on the Cristobal. They had that much room for staterooms and stuff. And it was heaven for me to think I get on that boat, have my meals served.
It's a vacation.
And they come in and make your bed up afterwards.
Wow.
It was just wonderful. And so every day we'd get up and go to breakfast. We had one waiter to our table for all of us, for all 8 of us. 6 kids. And
it's a cruise.
And it was just heaven. Thought I died. I couldn't believe it. But then we get down there, and Cecil, our good friend, again meets us at the boat, and he asks the I don't know what you call him, but asked one of the men in charge, "Are there any Sniders on the boat?" He said, "Oh yeah, we got a whole boat full of Sniders." There were only 40 passengers on the boat when we went down.
Oh, okay.
And 8 of them were us. So
a quarter of the crew.
Yeah, right. So it was wonderful. And our waiter was a Jamaican, and I couldn't understand him, He just asked me questions, and it was so embarrassing. I couldn't understand him. And 2 years later, we went back and we had that same waiter.
You're kidding.
And I told Lee, I says, "My goodness, his English has improved." It was just that my ear could understand a Jamaican
accent. After being in Panama with all the,
So, it was great.
So, did you learn Spanish when you got to Panama?
No.
Okay.
I tried, but I was never very good at school. I think it's one of those gifts the Holy Spirit can give me,
You have other talents, right?
I'm looking up at some of the other gifts. I'm looking for. Did he find one for me?
You're still waiting.
Patience. No, that wasn't it.
So in Panama, Grandpa starts working on the canal, right?
Yeah.
And you're at home with the kids and you get some help, right?
Oh yes, Catalina was our first maid. Catalina. Yeah, she was one of my friends who'd gotten already. People were so good to us, welcoming us friends, and they had already arranged for a maid for us and everything. So.
Where were you living?
In Cocosolo, and it was a 2-bedroom house, 2-bedroom apartment, and of course everything was big. All the rooms are big down there. And.
Were you feeling spoiled with a maid? Like this is life-changing with all?
Not exactly.
No.
Because some of them are this maid hadn't been really trained like a lot
Okay.
of them. And
Some
so
are
she-
better than others.
Yeah. But she was, it was good, because she did the laundry and it just.
That makes a difference, yeah.
That was a big help, not having to do laundry. But what we did is that we made the dining area into another room.
Okay.
And we had bunk beds then for all the kids. We had bunk beds for the boys and bunk beds for the girls. And so they had 3 beds in each of those rooms.
What town were you living in?
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
On Severn, do you remember where, you don't know that? That was where all the 2 bedrooms were, on the Severn. Yeah, and that was a Navy base, and it was where the enlisted lived, in the 2 bedrooms. And the 3 bedrooms were for officers, you know. And then after 2 years, we were able to move into a 3-bedroom, which we turned into a 5-bedroom. They had a porch that was 40 feet long and 10 feet wide.
Okay.
And we just divided up into.
2 rooms, there you go.
Yeah.
That was also in Coca-Cola?
Yeah. And we were close to the water, so we could see the ship. Well, at one end of the building, you could see the ships. And Lee wasn't there, let me think, wasn't there 2 years before he became an ad measurer. An ad measurer is measures the ships to determine the tonnage fees.
Oh, the fees, okay, the toll.
But you start out, of course, that requires an architect's, naval architect's degree to be an ad measurer, ordinarily. But they didn't have them, so they trained them on the job. And they liked having the machinist, because the machinist knew machinery on the boat.
Right.
And they could know which machinery was there to operate the boat and what machinery was there to handle cargo. And you'd be charged for that,
Yeah.
the machinery that handled cargo. So anyway, then, yeah, several of his friends took those tests to become
Hold on, Grandma.